Thank you for tuning into the Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Morocco. Peter is the director of the 12th Division of the ACIO, Advanced or Alien Contact Intelligence Organization. Jessica is a galactic liaison and the interdimensional seer. Together they will discuss the most current updates from the ACIO, Council of Five, and other extraterrestrial sources regarding many influences on our planet today. Our new format allows you to ask questions and hear the answers from the previous show. Post your question in the comment section below the YouTube video. Disclosures, insider intel that keeps you updated with planetary changes.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Disclosures. And I'm joined here with my host, Peter the Insider, and we have a special guest, Anthony Zender is here to join us. Hello Anthony, how are you?
I'm thank you for having me on the show, and I'm looking forward to just what is going to be disclosed today.
Okay, so without further delay, let's bring in Peter the Insider. Hello Peter.
Hello, I want to say hello to all of you guys and to all of our regular, maybe not so regular audience.
So we're going to continue on this discussion that we had with Anthony earlier, and obviously this is a very important day today. We have elections going on in the U.S., and there's a lot of tension and different things and discussions. Of course, this has been a very controversial, very difficult year. And so because of that, super soldiers are receiving information. And so we're going to share some of the things that Peter or Anthony wants to talk about. Who wants to go first? Peter, you want to start?
I want to mention about the earthquake in Alaska. The 7.5 earthquake in Alaska was actually a deep underground military base being taken out by Kruger with what kind of bomb was that, Peter?
Yeah, it was a very, very specific device. I was like, what in the world is that? How they can, whoever is responsible for that, how the heck were they able even to transport, in quotes, transport, that means like get through the wormhole, this kind of technology right here. And it was implosion fuse bomb. And I was like, what in the world? It can be small, like very small. I'm talking like what? Like bell-ish stuff on the earrings. Like, I mean, women have earrings, small, and
dangle earrings.
Sorry, what?
They're called dangle earrings.
Yeah, dangle. And I was like, what in the world? And it can make tremendous amounts of damage. I mean, huge damage. And I was like, are you serious? And from my point of view, we can be happy that it created, in quotes, only 7.1 or 7.2 earthquake. I mean, magnitude earthquake. And I was like, what? And just by the way, of course, because they were smart once they built this DUMB, aka deep underground military base. The base didn't take any damage, but it created this earthquake. I mean, that means the explosion.
Yeah. So that's obvious that these earthquakes. There are operations going on where these deep underground military bases are being taken out. Obviously, by the light forces. and what I wanted to actually bring up too as well, because something that I wanted to bring to you, because you guys have all of your soft disclosure, list of shows and stuff, but Agents of Shield is definitely one show that needs to be talked about and brought up, because I personally seen the helicarriers in Agents of Shield. I remember flying up to the helicarrier, and I remember being like, "Oh my God, this is a helicarrier," like in the Marvel movies. So what I'm trying to say is just like I'm trying to put Agents of Shield with for understanding operations that are going on right now, like with time travel, because they do show that in that movie or in that series very well. Like the operations, they even show they have runners in there. They have people with telekinesis and all sorts of things that are soft disclosure in that show.
Peter,
Yeah,
Peter,
yeah.
can
Go ahead.
you explain these implosion weapons? Because you said that was what well I'll get into that later.
Fuse implosion
Fuse
weapon.
implosion.
Yeah.
Can you explain what they do? Do they work in the quantum, or how do they work?
Yeah, technically they are they are misusing quantum field. Technically they are using the fact that fuse-ish process. So that means like not how can I say it? The reaction, chain reaction, very similar to the not only to the sun, what is going on the sun, but pretty much all the stars. Of course, in much smaller scale, can create zero quantum field. There is no quantum-ish process in the first place. So this is very one. I mean, let's say very big advantage, if you want to call it that way. Like once you want to create damage or attack or whatever, right? This is very first big advantage. And second one, implosion. That means it is the opposite. It's vice versa of explosion. That means in many ways, it is like, what in the world? This is nonsense. It is explosion. No. In the first place, in the first very tiny little pieces of time, right? Time periods, it completely sucked down the whole space, and then bam, crazy as big as explosion. So technically you can make absolutely destructive weapon. As I said, it can be like nut, like hazelnut. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? The bomb itself, like, what the heck is this inside talking about? Like it or not, it's true. It can be the dimensions outer. It can be like hazelnut or maybe even smaller, and it is goddamn crazy efficient. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy because I can say crazy stories. What the heck is this about? Because we used actually such a stuff, and rookies, they've been in our squad and they have no goddamn clue. They don't give a shit about that. I was like, no, don't use this. And they were like, nah, it's just a bow. You don't know what that means. And they simply put this red thing that means trigger-ish stuff out, and like no, and it started rolling because it's literally it's a ball, and it's kind of silver-ish, or like how can I? It's not quicksilver, like mercury-ish or silver-ish, some shiny color, right? And it can roll very fast. And I was like, "Are you serious?" And then we covered ourselves, and it was goddamn crazy. 20 feet concrete. It was iron concrete wall, and we barely made it out of this implosion ish process alive. It was goddamn crazy. I almost lost my how can I say it, my hearing process. There should be like operation, because I will lost my ears. It's true.
Well, the other yesterday we were supposed to do a show with Olaf, and weren't able to do the show with Olaf because the night before I heard some explosions, and I actually went outside. I thought someone was shooting a gun or something.
No, I think that was it.
Yeah, and so the next day, that we had an unusual storm, like a microburst out of nowhere. About a half an hour before the show, my electric was all gone, and later on, I found out that this huge, very healthy tree was knocked over by the power lines. So we couldn't do the show. It was like they didn't want us to do the show, and they used a much smaller version of that weaponry. I mean, obviously, I didn't see everything explode, but it was targeted. They were trying to stop us.
Technically, do you know what? Actually, it is much more complicated. It is not about, how can I say it correctly? Like, it is not about how big it is, because
Peter?
Hello? You just cut out?
No, he's still here. Something, I'm telling you, they keep on trying to interfere with our communications, and not happy, especially today. They're trying to do something.
It's a very pivotal point in the timeline, in the nexus point in the timeline. Obviously, election day. There's a lot of things going on right now. So
yeah, and I'm wondering.
I've got the blood.
Peter?
I've got the blood. I've got the blood.
You got blood?
Peter,
what happened? Did you just get hit?
Are
you okay?
What happened, Peter? Was it Heather? Was it a...
I don't know. It's weird.
They're angry that we're talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
I have witnesses. I have people that heard the explosions by my place, and they were like, "What the heck's going on?"
I believe it's weird. I know this guy.
Who? You just saw something?
I know this guy.
Should we bring in Anthony's explanation of what he's been going through?
Yeah, that will be best option possible.
Okay, so you said let's start from the beginning regarding your memory of being in these meetings, and name some of the people that you have. This is in dream space or in visions or recall?
Well, it's definitely in recall where I'm in a lot of different executive meetings. Obviously, a lot of them with Trump. But basically, in these meetings, I'm getting shown classified documents and things that are going to be used for part of the Great Awakening. You know, as social media, because I had a memory where I was in a dream where Donald Trump gave me basically he gave me a classified document, which was the Q map. It was actually the Q map, and obviously this was part of the DIA's plan to move this information with the Great Awakening, with that Q map. But I've just been having very many memories of being in meetings in tribunals, you know, where these people are being tried, you know, and they have been tried, and I mean it's all really just coming down to the wire right now, with what's going to be revealed.
Just for our listeners and those that don't know what's going on, Peter got hit. I don't know if we can say the name of the person that hit Peter.
Definitely not.
But you had blood and some black goo or something that they try to put on you.
Yeah, you are right. Not on me. They want to inject it in me. For my sake, they didn't succeed.
Peter, I had a question though. Before we were talking about like being a diplomat and like a past life, like you were gonna talk about like who I was, in who like in my prior incarnation.
Yeah, that's true.
So what diplomatic role, you know, did I play or am I playing right now? Because I mean, obviously I'm talking to the highest levels of councils that there are. I have memories of speaking to many different councils about the things that are going on, and what role, like why am I speaking to these councils?
First thing, you are not dealing with the Earth. So on Earth, you are dealing with outer Earth councils, and that's the problem, that they can be very misleading in order to protect even you, because you know, once you will be able to remember, but I don't want to say entities, but groups will go immediately after you. That's the matter. And the stuff is that especially they are calling themselves Dark Souls. I'm like, what is that? I don't know.
Dark Souls. Are you referring to like because I was talking to you about this before, because obviously this is a very important fact to bring up, is the targeted individual in gang stalking, and I sent you the video of obviously me being targeted by a team of gang stalkers and targeted
But
individuals.
that's the problem, because
And
they
I s-
don't want to let you say it. That's the problem, and they will do it for any cause. And once we start to think, to talk, even to thinking about the stuff, they will cause any problems to all people. being involved in disclosure to stop to make disclosure. As we said, Jessica said, or I don't know, did we say it on air? I don't know. Did we say it? What happened to you yesterday?
Yeah. Is that a problem?
No, I'm just asking that this is
Yeah.
crazy.
But we
Then
can't.
you,
That's why we didn't go. We're not going live. So anything that comes out that, here we are
yes,
talking about what's going on, and you got attacked very seriously.
yes, and it was like, what in the world? My wrists are in pain, but that will be pretty much fine because I was playing tennis or so I experienced much worse pains, but it's not just kind of pleasant. And then I can say about it lightly, I mean talk about it lightly. You sent me this video and it was pretty much, how can I say it, the usual operation, how the two operational squads are stalking targeted individuals. You are right, Anthony, you are right, because technically 2 dozens, so 12 and 12, and they will cut you all kind of escape extra, not entrances, they are calling it extrances, what is absolute nonsense in English, but they are using it for positive confirmation that those are our guys, because you've got entrance, you can't have extrans, you've got exit, period. But they are using this word. It is nonsense in English. Extrans. Even you've got entrance or you've got exit. Period. But they are using this nonsense term. It is not even like military army term. They made it. They fake it up. But they are using this. I mean, in TIP, Targeted Individual Program.
TIP, yeah, the Targeted Individual Program.
Yeah, TIP, exactly. This is like, what the heck? Extrans. What is this? Is bullshit. Extrans. And this is it, like exit and like entrance. And they merged these two words. And as I like to say it, in quotes, shit. That's crazy. It's painful. Screw it. My wrists are in pain. Sorry for that, guys. So that's the stuff. It works. They became to start using, in quotes, extrans. What is nonsense? But it is like that. Once they will use this, it's like,
So Peter, who are the people that are behind the Targeted Individual Program?
Once again, they are DARPA. I mean, originally they should be from DARPA, right? But this kind of it's because it is like that. This kind of next level shit, it is crazy even for DARPA, and they created. I don't want to say they created, but they hired, like, for contract, this. What is it? They are calling themselves Dark Souls, and it is absolute crazy. They are like like a puma. It's like they are moving very fast, and you can't see them, you can't hear them. It's absolutely crazy. They can be like as exactly like puma. This kind of cat-ish predator. It can move, I don't know, like 1 feet behind your back, and you will not hear her or see her, and that's absolutely the same thing. Once Dark Souls don't want to see or hear you, you will be not able to do so. And even if I am saying this, despite my training, believe me that I am saying right. It is crazy. It is crazy. But I will say you why very easy. it is not because they are not, yes, of course they are not humans. Yes, of course they are not ETs. They are either hybrids or crossbreeds or whatever. But they are using goddamn crazy, what it is. It is not only like normal magic. It is crazy. It is like some sort of energetic connection to, and that's the problem. We can see, okay, this is one, how can I say it, one end, but we even can't backtrack where the heck can another end be. No, it is absolute crazy. It is like you are driving, right? You are driving a car or bus or whatever, or truck, but it is so crazy goddamn heavy fog, like huge mist, big mist, that you are, let's say, I don't know, like you can't see even all the lights to the most in all the lights most intense, you know, like turned on, and you cannot see, let's say, 1 yard before you, in front of you. It is like that. This is next level craziness of whatever magic or whatever, and that's the reason why they are so good at what they are doing. And that's the reason, because you know DARPA, they are crazy as bastards, and I will not watch my language right now, because to be honest, I am pissed off what they did to me right now. That's the reason that DARPA, they know it. They know how good they are. Black Souls, or Dark Souls, sorry, Dark Souls. They know how good Dark Souls are, and that's the reason why they signed this contract, this in quotes TIP, Targeted Individual Program contract. It's holy, it's
Okay. Yeah, that was that's very good to know, because obviously in the targeted individual program, people that become aware of it want to know who it is, and that is DARPA. That is very good to know.
yeah, because technically they are, they are crazy. They are like, what in the world? You've got like 220 or 250 employees, and they've got like, what? Like 15 or 20 billions of what is it? Like dollars annual budget? What in the world? Why? How? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's just nonsense. Jeez, it's bad.
But we've got activity going on right now on the planet it's very supernatural, the stuff that they're doing. And, military showing up in certain places that, like Peter, you said earlier to me yesterday about how they showed up, and they're not necessarily from a place where they look like they should be from.
That's true. That's true.
There's also like weird anomalies of things that people have said that they've seen others just show up out of nowhere. And it's not just like the Men in Black now. There's others that are doing this. They have access to it, or it's because of this bleed through. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's become very unpredictable.
It is absolutely crazy. It is crazy. It is like next level craziness. This is like, what in the world? This is not.
And I've seen people show up in places that don't belong there, and it's like, well, what are they doing there? I can see it in my third eye. And even the hybrids that we were talking to Olaf yesterday about. Yeah, sorry, Anthony. Go ahead.
I was just talking about the bleed through. The bleed through reality that's happening, but it's not. The bleed through reality is actually the real reality that's been going on, which is obviously all of these hidden technologies being secret, and so it's with that's the real reality, and
absolutely, my friend. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so as this bleed through reality, which is the real reality, which is an extraordinary reality, obviously having to do with Nazis and spaceships and aliens and extraterrestrial wars and temporal, interdimensional wars. That's what's happening. Is that reality is bleeding through? That's our future, and so we're experiencing everything in this dimension as we're going up other dimensions.
Yeah, but you need to consider that in their reality, it's not what we are merging with. It is not bad. They are
Right. Oh, no, and I know that too.
I'm
Because
just saying that they want to, how can I say it? They want to look them like they are bad, and that's the stuff. It's like they
Yeah.
they did or they do something bad, and of course because they are not stupid, they will blame for it total different persons, so individuals or group, whatever. And that's the problem. This is like, what in the world is happening? It is like this
I
Albion
just wanted to say,
organization.
like, because that's what Ramtha, my mentor Ramtha, was preparing us for, was the future. Because what you said is the belief, the reality, which is the real reality that's coming through, is not so bad, but it's how it's going to be understood by different people. You know what I'm saying? People are going to understand it in different ways, but obviously part of the whole disclosure plan is being able to get out the information to be able to explain this other bleed through reality that will lead to a Mandela effect, and then we will jump into that reality. Am I not right, Peter?
Absolutely. And that's the stuff what we are here for, because they are doing it. This is it. They are making real deal propaganda. They are goddamn good at it. And that means, like, what the heck is propaganda about? Very easy. Their ultimate goal is to create not like confusion or chaos. It will be pure mayhem. Like, what the heck? What the heck is this about? As you, my friend, as you said, it will be like not few tens, few hundreds, maybe few thousands of people with wide variety of, how can I say it, way of comprehension what it will be our future about. Our future, as you said, with merging what will be. I mean, our future will be with within, technically merging within or with both.
Well, I just know too, like, as well, like
Give
the
me
reality
a
that
second. Give me a second, okay? With another reality, and that's the stuff. There will be wide variety of comprehensioning this, that even from the best and to the worst. I mean, how people will comprehend, how they will accept that our reality is merging with another reality. And that's the problem. That's the stuff. They don't want to how can I say it, to, in quotes, picture it. I mean, the second reality as the worst reality possible. No, they want to do one thing: pure chaos, pure mayhem. And that's the stuff. People will be devoted. They will be in shock. I was like, no, we are in danger. Exactly, my friend, as you said. Propaganda. And technically not propaganda in quotes, propaganda to be strictly and very strongly against let's say some sort of, I don't want to say political, but political only side, but ideological, philosophical, all kind of that stuff. And they will technically, as I like to say, once you are in some sort of lottery, do you know what I mean? And they create that many cases scenario, and that's it. Random scenarios, and they will spread them out. And that's the problem, that people will be in so much chaos. I mean, in their minds will be that kind of crazy amount of chaos that they will be completely lost, and they will absolutely have no idea what they should trust and what they shouldn't. This is the problem. From my point of view, that will be the main problem. Jessica, I think that you want to say something.
Yeah. Also, there's still a residue of what happened with Monarch and Mobius. Is some of their stuff is still going on too. So
and Umbrella.
And Umbrella, yeah. So the residual effect.
Yes, don't forget my Umbrella, because COVID-19 is their in quotes masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's their baby. And don't mess with babies.
Yeah, well, that was a bad one. Talk about an attempt for a mass destruction.
Actually, we in ACIO, I don't want to say we, but our scientist team, we succeeded to isolate AI stuff within COVID virus. What in the world is that?
Wow.
This is next level shit.
Wow. Is Michael involved with that? Is Michael involved or no?
Yeah, of course. But it was what in the world? It immediately started to rebuild itself. And it had, in quotes, its own consciousness. What in the world they created? It is like doomsday weapon. What in the world?
So the COVID AI, did it get into a singularity, or what did it do?
Yeah, this is the problem.
Wow.
That's the problem, because many people, they and I think that this was the stuff what every single person in the world, of course, the people they've got access to some sort of any sort of media, I don't know, like TV, radio, whatever. They've got this question through their minds, through their brains. How the heck is possible that this crazy virus can mutate that fast? Very easy. Because AI, that means like non-natural, how can I say it? Part of it has its own consciousness. It has intelligence. What in the world? And it is technically communicating, within itself or whatever, all around the world.
And all the people that didn't die from COVID are all now in some kind of hive mind.
Absolutely. They are hosts to this crazy-ish shit. And I will not watch my language. I know that it will be maybe additional work for our technician guy to beep it out, but I don't want to watch my language. Sorry, no, because this is next level. What in the world? This is up. No, and I don't want to say we didn't consider this option. We in ACIO, but this is the stuff. Think about it. Consider it is one thing. Let's say one point of view, but now we know it 100% that it's true. It is crazy. Jeez, it's. Go ahead.
You also said the mutations were causing what looked like hybrid people, because I was seeing almost like those Atlantis beings that are half human, half animal. type of thing, and I've been seeing that too. Now, is that something that you said yesterday?
Yes, but this
With
is not
Olaf.
only like that. This is like, for example, head of, I don't know, snake. I don't know, like for example, hands from, I don't know, like lion or so, body from human, and I don't know, legs from whatever, from like crocodile or something like that. It is crazy. What in the
That's from
world is
the
that?
mutations, and then what in the astral? The people are having like an astral aspect of like a mutated entity.
No, you don't get it. The people are mutating physically in this way. It is crazy.
Because I've seen them. I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was they were Atlantean.
No,
And
no, no,
they
no.
were
And none of these pictures, the photos or video footages will get out, I mean, to the public. And I will say why I'm talking about that during our show, because technically you are very close friend. We don't want to mention his name, but you are very close friend with this brilliant scientist, Michael, in their reality, another reality you mentioned, Anthony.
Mhm.
He's known with Takuma, and he's using two surnames, Nakamishi or Nakamuro, right? And you actually, Anthony, you cooperated, technically you still are cooperating with him on making advancements, enhancements of another, let's say, next generation-ish arguments, especially for running and making the elbows, all kind of that stuff, much more flexible, all kind of that stuff. You know, ankles more flexible, more faster, stronger, all that stuff. Can you remember those training runs?
Yeah, I do. I do. That yeah, that you mentioned that it resonates, and I am now that's coming back. That I was working with Michael with making augments and doing runs. Uh,
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and he just, by the way,
And
he's some
I mean,
sort of,
that's what I'm saying is I remember now. I remember working with Michael with the augments, and I also remember working with Olaf and working with him, and he designs the maps that
yeah,
the runners use to go on their missions. So that's my connection with both of them.
yeah.
Um,
And
for
maps should be goddamn precise, because try to think in that kind of fast parkour run, and there will be wrong map. That will not then end up well for runner. Yeah, it's it's crazy, absolutely, or it will be. Yeah. And just by the way, he's kind of a funny guy, isn't he? I'm talking about Michael. It's
no, I
Yeah.
remember I remember him now. I do. I
and,
remember.
and you made it was like, okay, that was kind of funny, because you hit the record with the latest stuff run, latest argument run, and he was like, funny, but not that good. You was slow. And he was like, no, I wasn't. And that was actually, he made some sort of, in a quotes, friendly joke from you. And I will say you why. Because he got installed for you only one this argument to right leg, and not to both legs. And he was like, how the heck is this possible? There should be much faster. And that was so that was the, how can I say it, you hit the record, time, whatever. It is like, for example, as test drivers with race cars, whatever, and you hit the lab record or so, right? And it was pretty much like that, but he said it should be much faster. And no, this isn't fair, and because you absolutely didn't realize it during the process. That was funny. I mean,
Michael's a nice guy, but he does have a really good sense of humor.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking that they completely, for security purposes, they wiped his memory so they can't astrally go in or get him in the dream space. But they really pulled a lot of memory from him. But
almost everything, pretty much.
Right. Yeah. When I do, for some reason, I can access his some of his history. But I think it's because they're allowing it so some of the information can come through, but not anything that's sensitive right now.
Yep.
They don't give me any of that information when I've worked with him, but just enough so that it can help trigger some memory. And he takes the information in, but he's a very humble and doesn't need to be in the limelight at all. Is very, very passive, but he has a fun sense of humor, so I can see him kind of giving you a hard time, but it's in a nice way.
Funny. It was funny with you, the situation, and he was like, wasn't I fast enough really? And he was like, no, you was slow. And then you looked at your legs, and I was like, and you was like, this is not fair. Only one leg supported. And then he started to laugh at you like, ha 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 ha, I got you.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
He's funny.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. And just by the way, do you remember what happened with Faith Connor's sister? Because during this run, technically it was the same run I am talking about right now. She almost, in quotes, break the reality. That means she bended time and space that much. She broke the limit, and they need to fix the, how can I say it, this training tube. It is like huge circle, and you get into the circle inside it, yeah, and there are, of course, they are making it on purpose, time and space anomalies. And then it happened because she ended up in the circle, right? And just by the way, she was like, okay, 2 or 3 more times and I will start sweating. And he was like, you saved her, because she was keep running and running and running. Oh. And that was the problem, because it is like, how can I say it, longer you are running, you run faster and faster and faster because of these anomalies. And he was like, okay, there is nobody here, there is this crazy scientific stuff you don't want to touch, of course, because you don't want to screw it. And you pulled her out literally on, I don't want to say violently, but you used crazy as like big amount of power. And she wasn't sweating, of course, and it was like, she was like, okay, 2, 3, maybe 4 more rounds and I will start sweating. And he was like, are you kidding me? You get stuck in that. And then she got burnings. No, I am not kidding you. She got, I don't want to say big burnings, but how can I say it, like once you will fall asleep on the beach. Do you know what I'm talking about? And this kind of burnings, you burn your skin Do you know what I mean? Like that.
Okay.
And that was it, because she started ran too fast, and her skin, despite it is protected with specific stuff like nanite arguments, it was way too much even for her. And it was like, are you serious? And then Fate showed up immediately, because they are twins, right? And you know, they are mentally connected. Of course, excluded the AI stuff, and she started yelling at her, and he was like, hey, hey, Fate, not a big deal, I was here. And that was the problem, because technically Fate is older sister. Do you know what I mean? Like, she was born first. Do you know what I'm talking about? So like few minutes, but like it or not, it is like that. Do you know what I'm talking about? So crazy experiences during those experiments. And since then, since this how can I say it, since this happened, this how can we call it, accident? Technically it wasn't accident, but it was very close from that. There are always another people, another stuff from Kruger. There should help. Do you know what I mean? Because this was literally coincidence. Very happy for her that you was there, and you decided it was like, okay, everything or nothing. You know, because technically the probability that you will save her in that situation is less than 1 million, 1 to million, and you succeeded. So it wasn't, I don't want to underestimate you, but it was, of course you was physically strong enough, but it was not about physical force or whatever, but you know, like being happy in the situation. And that was the problem. But it was her stuff, because she want to, you know, train more and more and more, and you stop training, and it was like, okay, shouldn't she stopped the training too? Do you know what I'm talking about? And he was just sitting on the, you know, on the chair, and then you start to be worried, because all kind of monitors, all kind of that stuff start to you know, get red alerts, problems, and it was like, this is not okay. And that's the stuff. That was actually that was actually very good thing to happen, because it led to build the whole new training site for Kruger runners. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry for that I was talking
That
about
makes
that
sense.
for so long time, but you technically, how can I say it, consider them, let them consider that there was a huge lag for, how can I say it, for safetiness. Do you know what I mean? Because those old-ish type of training site, those training rings, they will make you run faster, and you can't slow down. In actual generation, you can control it. And that was it, you know. So they are very thankful to you, and maybe, I don't know if you can remember this or not, but I think this is good opportunity to say this to you. And just by the way, all of our listeners, believe it or not, but we never ever in quotes, pre-arrange this before we are on air. Am I right, Jessica?
Never, never. We have never. I tell you usually in the beginning of a few subjects, but this time we had so the first interview with Anthony, we had a bio, and we kind of started with some of the background information. But yeah, no, we haven't planned any of this, and it's already been some of it we can't include, I guess. But
I definitely remember Faith and Kate. I do remember them from the other side. I have many different memories with them. I do remember celebrating, having I mean, there's a lot of different memories, but I remember seeing Kate in a celebration one time, and that was just one memory.
Celebration of her birthday, and believe me or not, this accident, technically it was almost accident, but it ended up like nothing in quotes. This happened 1 week before this celebration, what you can remember, because it was around, do you know what I'm talking about, like 20, 25, 30, I don't want to mention this age, this specific age. So without you there will be no celebration. And that's, give me a second, and that is the reason why you can remember this celebration.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely remember that. I do.
you know what this reminds me of is the running really fast is that movie Tron.
Yeah,
And they get on.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Yeah, it is.
It is, yeah, because I've been on something like that. I remember that years ago. It's like a really weird paradigm, but you're just moving really fast on that. So that's what's Kruger Runners is like Tron in some ways.
Like yeah, definitely more like Quantum Break. That is how fast you can run. Is you can basically run, and it's so fast that you can stop time. And
yes, give me a second, my friend. No, you can. You need. I don't want to say need, but you need to bend time in order to be able to predict where the things, movable things within the space will be, and that's the. I mean, once we are talking about, I don't know, of course, once the buildings are not under construction, it is not that big deal to move between buildings. Do you know what is the big deal? Once you are, because you are obligated to do so, once you are, because of mission, once you are moving, respectively, making parkour within big crazy ass traffic jam. It is absolutely crazy.
The parkour.
Parkour,
Peter, I
yeah.
think they had me racing against Mark Mobius. I realized that later.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, or like an aspect of him or whatever. But I remember that. That was years ago before I might have just met you then, Peter.
Yeah, it is crazy. So that was the stuff why I mentioned this particular event so detailedly, because without being this situation, what you technically, when you saved the Kate, there will be no newer generation, later generation of Kruger training sites. And okay, you can be happy. And just by the way, because you was in there, no other people were there. No other. You technically was invited as a co-designer of the new training site. I think you should remember that. Can you remember that?
Most definitely I can. I do remember that. I remember I have all yes, I know how the super soldiers are trained.
Yep.
You know.
Because what I was able to get from those files and video footages, you was there because all of that what they was up to. Okay, say, like a feedback from usage during the missions of arguments. But do you know what was the biggest break for them? Actual training site where they trained and developed the arguments was very old and outdated till this situation. And from this situation, next generation of this training site, training tube or whatever, that you technically you was there, Kate and Fade, and of course you was co-creators of design with Michael, aka Takuma, and you talked about that stuff, and they were like, "Are you serious?" Because they tried to think about things so deeply. They always wanted to analyze it, to think, to get like wide variety of complex things, and you told them no, it is simple, and you throw all kind of those mathematics formula and physical stuff out from the table, and you told them, as I like to say, like in kindergarten, but not because of you and Cain, Dave and Fate are stupid, but it is like you describe it how it works in the technically battleground, battlefield, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Because that it is. You don't need to know all kind of physical and mathematical and chemical whatever principles. You need these arguments to work during the process. And they were like, aha, we were so goddamn crazy because they used so many complex-ish, complicated stuff, and now it is much more simpler, much more, how can I say it, smoother, easier to develop. I mean, this training side. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because they were
Oh,
chemical process.
there it is.
Go ahead.
No, it looked like we lost you for a moment. That's okay. Go ahead, Peter.
That's the stuff. That's the stuff. It's like because they were only into deep science and they lost in quotes in this deep science. They lost the, how can I say, baselines. Do you know what I mean? And that was the problem. But I mean, their problem. Do you know what I mean? It's like, jeez.
So the new facility that they worked on and designed, does that mean that that's because there's more Kruger runners coming in, or is there a transition from the way that they were doing it before?
Yes, technically, both of them. Both of that. Once again, it should be much faster to develop the new arguments. In the first place, in the second place, they should get much more data as a feedback. What it was like, okay, this old design stuff, it wasn't that bad because it was, how can I say it, old. But the problem is there were too many data, and once they will use all kind of data from that kind of crazy amount of Kruger runners and super soldiers, this old school-ish stuff, a training site will be overloaded, and it will get itself under the lockdown. It will be unusable. Do you know what I mean? That was the reason.
There's a lot of things that are going to be happening in the next couple months.
Yeah.
So, what is the role of Kruger? Well, you can't talk about detail, obviously, about the things that they're going to do, but is there anything you want to say about that?
I think yeah, because Anthony said me certain things that technically they are he is in TIP, and I will say, how did you get that? I will say you. Because you start to develop new Kruger runner core. That means their computer, and that is the problem for them, for Dark Souls. Do you know what I mean? Because once they will have their own quantum computer Bethesda stuff, not physical but astral based quantum computer, it will be bad for them, for Dark Souls. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And I think that you can remember that, or you can't.
Well, no, I do. I do. My soul remembers it because it resonates. Everything you're saying to me resonates, and so I do remember it. And yeah, that is doing things for the order of the highest good.
Yep, you are absolutely right. And just by the way, as you said, which kind of term you are using? It's very good term. That you are grounded. As you said, that you are grounded, and that's the problem. That once you are not grounded, you can't start the recollection process. And as you said, you are grounded, and that's a big problem for them because you start to recollect and all kind of that stuff.
Yeah, and that is the thing is because I can meditate anytime during the day for as long as I want, and that's obviously something that I cultivated throughout my life was mastering meditation. But that's obviously part of all my memory recall is that I can just go into meditation whenever I want.
I think that's important. I mean, people ask me how I do what I do, and it was many hours of meditation as well. I mean, obviously, you have to take care of your day-to-day requirements, and not let anything slip. I know some people go extreme on certain things, but it's a balance. It's a balance in life, and if we're here to assist, then that's necessary. And if people do want to remember everything, you have to go within, because that's where all the information is.
Yes, it is, and that's what I learned in the mystery school that I was in. Ramtha School of Enlightenment has been a shining light in my life because of the teachings that were taught there and the disciplines that we were taught there, like through focusing and meditation and just like learning remote viewing and telepathy and just that's what they teach at that school is all of those attributes. And so when I got guided to that school, that's when I really began to awaken to me being a super soldier.
Yeah, I think the meditation, I mean, there's a lot of different people that teach meditation, and many different groups, many different modalities of it. And I don't recommend just one individual, but many can, guide you into that direction. And I think mostly guide yourself. And so, but yeah, I mean, we all have different ones that assisted us along the way. So we're grateful for those people that helped us get to where we did.
Just one thing I wanted to talk about was a manifestation experience I had, because this is obviously a very important thing, because in this time I was in a town where there's only one stoplight, but every day I would wake up in the morning and I would visualize basically the image of my dream. I created an image and I would place it in my third eye. So every single day, which I still do it to this day, but every single day I would do that and imagine it. And lo and behold, a store opens up right next to me that's called the Time Machine. And so that was kind of interesting, because obviously I was accessing, my time machine and, Merkaba and all that. And then what happened after that was another store opened up beneath where I lived, and that store was an MMA fighter store. So that also supported me as well. And then after that, another business opened up, and it was a holistic healing business, and basically the owner of it, her name was Magic. So that was a manifestation experience, a manifestation where I had three prominent things that were brought into my reality that were obviously helping me to my future. And that was where I learned about the power that I had to actually manifest things in my life.
And you're manifesting things for Kruger as well.
I am, because if I'm doing on as above so below. So yeah, I can manifest things.
Yeah, well, maybe we can all manifest safety for a lot of people coming up, and whatever is happening in the world right now, and manifest that the virus disappears magically. Things like that.
I have I'm not gonna say much, but it's gonna be a reason to celebrate this Christmas. I have a feeling there's gonna be a reason to celebrate.
I after meeting some of the Kruger runners, I'm really hopeful that we're going in the right direction. Of course, Peter and the information that Peter has brought us has really opened a lot of things up, so we know how to direct our intentions in the areas that need help. And so I think this collaborative effort that's getting to be more viral, and people are understanding that they too have a role in their own way, that everyone's contributing. We can really switch things to where it should be, and allow that residual effect to go away and change things in a positive direction. So I do feel hopeful, and I appreciate that you have a hopeful mindset, even though as terrible as some of the stuff has been. We understand that some of this had to come through. It's kind of has been in the underbelly of the earth for a long time, and even in the astral. And so it's just coming through and appearing. I mean, they show up at Peter's home whenever, there's something kind of nefarious, and Peter's doing the work, and then, we touch on a subject and boom, someone shows up, and that stuff is old. A lot of these beings are very, very old, and they've been getting away with things for such a long time. And this is the first time that they're meeting any kind of resistance. So that's why there's the conflict. But
we didn't do anything bad to them.
No, but we created resistance of not wanting their paradigm anymore.
So that's the thing why they are so goddamn pissed off at us?
Yeah, because they're used to nobody in their way. Nobody should be in their way, in their mind.
Go ahead.
They don't think anyone should be in their way. They're used to doing all sorts of things, and we're saying no, we don't want that anymore. And so they don't like that. It's like a ruler of a nation, saying that, well, we're not going to allow you to make your own money. We're going to limit you. And
I just
finally,
want to
everyone
bring
says
up
no.
like a important movie, Elysium. Elysium, the movie Elysium is a very important movie because it shows obviously a surface population and then an elite population.
Yeah.
That obviously has all the technologies and all that. While all this,
Absolutely, this is very, very important movie, as you said.
Yeah.
Definitely.
yeah,
Yep,
and
I've seen that one. It's a good one. Yeah.
part of what I'm doing is all the disclosure movies I'm identifying, and even in that movie they actually mentioned Kruger in that movie, but yeah, that movie does show a surface population and an elite population, and that's going to be part of the understanding of when we merge into this new reality is the reality of the elites world.
Or Jupiter Ascending's another one. It's the same thing, that extreme elite group trying to control everything. You've seen that one as well, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Jupiter ascending with, yeah, and that's another thing. And Peter, I don't know if you know anything about this, but I do have memories of actually speaking with the Wachowskis.
I know.
Yeah, I have memories of speaking with the Wachowskis in a very like in a high rise environment, skyscraper. So what was I giving them information to write scripts?
Yeah, that was it. And technically, some of it they get right. Some of them, I don't want to say they mislead it, the stuff, but they don't simply get the the message, if you want to call it that way.
Well, they get multiple influences. So you have someone writing a story, and then you have someone rewriting the story and editing. And they change it according to popular beliefs and appeal, and targeting certain audiences. So it alters the story to accommodate those things. That's the problem with Hollywood. They can't stay pure to the story.
Yes, because from their point of view, everything is about money.
Yes.
And they need to create not I don't want to say create. They don't need to make revelation. They need to create story that will be, how can I say it, best way, written in best way to sell it. That means it will be blockbuster once we are talking about movies. Am I right?
Yeah, and I've even on radio talk shows, I've talked about certain things, and then months later see that it's the storylines in the movie, or even some of the character names that were unusual. And I'm like, how in the world? I said, I almost got angry. I was like, why don't they at least pay me for my information? Because I think that these creative guys do listen to conversations on YouTube and radio and so forth, and to get inspiration for the storylines.
Absolutely, you are absolutely right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are right. You are right. Yep. Yeah.
So, where do we go from here? Any other memories or anything else that you wanted to introduce?
Well, I just one more thing. I mean, just for the heck of it, just because it comes to my mind. But what I'm always about is the soft disclosure, in movies, to give about soft disclosure, obviously about these operations that are going on, that are black operations. and the movie Black Widow is actually a very prominent disclosure movie to understand about the operations that are going on.
Yep, you are absolutely right. But you know, that's the problem. That people, you know, it is like that. For example, break in a movie or break, like total break through movie Matrix. What do you think? How many people I don't want to say consider. They simply start to think deeply. No, they take it as a very good action movie with sorry, sci-fi cyberpunk-ish movie with action scenes, all kind of that stuff. But once it was released, it came out. What do you think? How many percentage of people they saw it? Try to think in let's say deeper meaning of the movie. No, try to think and be realistic. No.
Right, not very many, but here's the awakening super soldiers are going to be the ones that are privy to that information of it being a reality.
Yeah, you are right.
You know what I was thinking about, Peter? You talked about this movie about there was an incident in Canada that just happened on Halloween where a man, they thought he was dressed in medieval clothing, but since it was Halloween, no one thought anything of it, but actually he was dressed as a samurai. And there was a few killings that happened. And you said that it was because of this Ghost of Tsushima, which is a video game. And is that the way?
But this is not like that. It is video game, but it is actually occurrence. I mean, this is true story, and those samurais are feeling insulted that they were not respected enough from emperor's family, from the actual regime, former regime. Sorry for that.
So did they make that game off of like super soldiers memories, like yeah, like just like Assassin's Creed as
but
well.
That's 47 Ronin, where that they weren't appreciated for their protection of the government.
But that's the stuff. I mean, okay, but why the heck? But are you just because you were not fully rewarded by regime and all kind of that stuff by society? It is not reason, or it shouldn't be reason, for you to make terrorist attacks and all kind of that problems. Am I right?
Right. But I was thinking that maybe Anthony was involved in this because he does the martial arts. And I was thinking to ask this when we did the interview.
Yeah,
and so does Michael.
When that video game came out, I studied it. I studied it very deeply because I just had when it's just with me and video games, it's like they're getting the video games from my memories. So that's just how I'm experiencing it.
Yeah, that's the stuff. It's like,
and just like Beyond Two Souls and just like all the just everything is from my actual memories. All those video games are all super soldier experiences.
Yeah, realities. So was he one of the samurais, Peter?
Training. He trained the samurais. Which kind of games you mentioned? Beyond Two Souls and what?
Well, I was just saying, like Beyond Two Souls, and I mean, there's a lot of other ones, but I just was mentioning that one.
I'm just thinking, because it's bad. It's like, what the heck? You because I know that you felt very frustrated because you failed technically. Because your training, it wasn't your like personal failure in order to train them, but it wasn't your duty to train them to succeed it mentally, because it was their mental breakdown, because you was the best one, because you was chosen to train them, and who the heck can be better than someone who trained. Do you know what I mean? But that was the problem, that he was like, what the heck is happening with those guys? They shouldn't be that frustrated. Do you know what I'm talking about? And those guys, they are making the movies, TV shows, and video games. They have absolutely no goddamn clue that releasing those kind of entertaining-ish stuff, it can create a hive mind. So technically, people, they are watching this or playing this or whatever, they are in quotes affected. That means, okay, I saw this, and they are discussing it and whatever via social media or maybe on personal meetings. And you know what? They are opening portals, and those guys, they are doing that. They have no goddamn clue what they caused or what they are causing. It is crazy. This is cheese.
That makes sense.
It's bad.
Maybe you can speak to some of them in the astral to help them to get through not feeling appreciated and maybe use their abilities to
Jessica,
help.
you don't get it. You absolutely don't get it. They are Japanese. They don't give up. They never give up.
No,
It is like
I didn't say for them to give up, but not to be discouraged.
different mentality. It is
True.
not
No,
because
I know.
it is not being civilian, being soldier, or such a stuff. It is shogun mental-ish system mindset. It is like Japanese never never surrender. They, I mean, people will hate me for that. Once US will not drop two atomic bombs, they will not surrender. And even like 15 or 20 years after Second World War ended, once you will came through, I don't know, such isolated village or small groups of help me, like what, like small group of houses, and those people are living isolated, even after 15 or 20 years after Second World War ended, they believed it still is going on. Believe it or not.
No, I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
They are like that. This is not because of soldiers or because of, I don't know, Jolniers or so. No, it is Shogun mental system.
I do.
Because
I understand.
they are crazy. Let's say they are crazy in bad way. In bad way. They will never ever forget. Yes, they will give up once they are dead. Believe me.
Right.
No.
I understand.
It is absolutely
that,
crazy. It is like no other mentality, and this is not only like especially Japanese soldiers, but Japan as a nation,
Yes.
It's mentality for itself. It's what in the world? It's, let's say, its own chapter in the whole book called humanity. It's absolutely crazy. They are like, it's. I lived there for a certain time, and it's very complicated to describe for people they didn't live there. And that's the problem, that for you, it wasn't your personal failure, Anthony, but it was the failure, like you didn't taught them accept that being rewarded sometimes it's not the best option possible. Do you know what I mean? And they, because that's the stuff, once they were not rewarded enough, they start blaming, because it's the mentality, shogun mentality. They start to blame everyone, even their teacher. What it was you. I don't want to say only you, but you was one of them. And it was like, and you was like, what? And you was rewarded as one of the best teachers for martial arts, all kind of that stuff. So let's call it close combat. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, because you was in military, and that was the stuff. Because you cannot teach them this, like, accept that sometimes being rewarded, technically, for example, like mission jeopardized. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't get out of the, let's say, out of the shadow, because once we as a nation, for example, will point at certain people, soldiers or whatever, whoever, special agents, we will technically, blow cover of the mission. No, you cannot give them this to their heads. And it wasn't your personal failure. No. Technically, whatever you will do, they will not accept this idea. No. Because they are, shogun mentality.
But even the civilians are very severe. Like, if they're not successful financially, they suicide. I mean, it's horrible, Peter.
Are you serious? Once again, I lived there. It's absolutely crazy.
It's horrible. They have like some kind of forest or something where the people have hung themselves out of shame for something. It's a very, very harsh. I mean, from our perspective, it's harsh. From them, it's normal.
For them, it's like, okay, that's the way of life. Yeah. Absolutely, as you said. Yeah, that stuff. And that's the problem. They start to blame other people for their, I don't know, failure or whatever. And then and that's the problem. Once they failed, they start to blame themselves in the first row, if you want to say, in the first line. But then, from certain point, once they feel let's say, frustrated, they start to blame other people.
Can I just bring up in the video game, they talk about how the Mongols historically came over and to try to take
Ghost of Tsushima, you mean? Tsushima,
yeah, the Ghost of Tsushima. The Mongols were very, very powerful, and they were actually using some kind of firearms or, guns or explosions of some sort. So they're extremely advanced in battle, and they travel across to this island, and they meet with the Japanese because they ran out of different, nations to take over, because they really, created this whole like
empire or so.
Yeah, and so when they went to fight the Japanese, fought them, and only like one of the samurai survived, his name is Jin Sakai.
Yep.
And so in the process of that, they kept on trying to control everything, but there was this big wave, this big huge wave that came in and really hit the Mongols. And so they said, this is bigger than us. This is bigger. This is supernatural, that these people are protected.
Yep. You are right. Yeah,
Because it
yeah,
happened twice. They went back there. This is historically what happened.
yeah.
Yeah. And then
Jin,
that's when you
Jin.
get the
It is not. It
supernatural
is
stuff.
not Jin. It is not Jin. It's Jin. Jin Sakai. Yeah.
I actually wanted to mention the movie Jin. Did you have you heard of that
Yeah.
movie?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's the problem. And that's the problem. Those guys, they, for example, release this game, and it is very hyped game. It's like very good, popular, and they don't get it, man. They open the portal for them, and they are very hostile. They are frustrated, all kind of that stuff. Jeez, it's not okay. Mm-mm. It's bad. It's bad. And of course they are blaming you. I don't want to say you only, but their teachers. No, no, and that's technically you did your best, close combat, but it's their problem. It's their problem. Do you know what I mean? Like they don't want to. I mean, they don't get why they were not fully appreciated or accepted or so. Do you know what I mean? It's like they there can be tons of reasons, different reasons, and uh,
So how does that affect Anthony if he was very involved in that?
I mean, technically, you can be happy that anything bad happened, anything didn't bad happened to you. No, I mean it for real, because they are up to. They are up to attack, to destroy. I don't want to say kill, but destroy, ruin the life. They are crazy. They are crazy. It's bad.
Yeah, I definitely have memories of being in sword battles, with katanas and in the Japanese era.
Yeah,
So
that's the stuff. And I don't know. I mean, and that's the problem. Technically, I think, as you will be the only one in this next context, because this is next for them, new context of existence, because you was the mentor, like the teacher, and I think that you've got that close mental connection, if we want to call it that way, that now after that many centuries, maybe they will, I don't want to say accept, but they will comprehend what really happened, all kind of that stuff. But I don't think good idea is, I mean, like in quotes, good introduction for them was to commit the attacks or whatever, to stab or to shoot or whatever. Jeez, because they are angry and they don't want, and they want to, in quotes, say, "Ha, we are here." Uh, it's bad. It's not okay.
And they said that in Canada on Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I had no idea. I just knew that there was an incident there in Halloween because, Peter, you said something was going to happen unusual in Halloween. So
Yep.
that was one of the things that I could see that was kind of obvious.
Mhm.
But the other thing then was what happened in Slovakia and that whole universal testing that they did. So, yeah, that was kind of a weird chain of events, and it's still impacting what's going on around. I don't know if they're related at all, but just the energy, not necessarily the samurai doing that would happen in Slovakia, but just
No,
the negative
it is
energy
not.
just coming through still.
It is not. It is not because of that. It's totally
Yeah, I know,
independent. It's independent.
but it's just
But this is
thing.
the stuff what you said. It is chain reaction, and everything is, let's say, how can we call it, like connected within each other. Yep. Mhm. That's true. It is chain reaction. Jeez, it's not okay.
Yep. Well, time travel missions are, are successful. That's obviously the missions that involve time travel. They all don't go successful, but obviously, it's been the missions have been successful enough to alter the timeline for us to be able to, experience this parallel reality that we're
Yep, you are
bringing
right.
to.
So I don't know, guys. Should we talk about certain things? Maybe we should certain things save for next time. What do you think?
What do you think, Anthony?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's obviously ongoing, and there's so much to talk about. So yeah, that sounds good to me.
Hopefully you're doing better, Peter, after being attacked.
Better. My wrists hurts, but it will be not that bad.
I got you, Peter. I'm sending you protection.
Yeah. Do you know what? Actually, I can feel it. Yeah.
Yeah. I got you.
That's awesome. Yeah, maybe you can protect me from those little implosion bombs.
Well, okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. That would. I'll do my best.
Yeah, we have to
It
find
is
out
not
the
okay,
source
this-
of them.
thi-
Whoever's
Yeah.
doing that. Yeah. But anyhow, this is like as usual. It's always an interesting conversation. It's a very historical day, and highest intention for humanity today and protection to all those on the planet, and some of those nefarious ones. May they get lost in their missions, not
Yeah,
find.
you are right. Absolutely, you are right.
I believe the timeline is unfolding, according to plan for the optimal trajectory. So that's
Yeah.
what I feel is happening.
And they want to get it out of optimal stuff. You are right, and that's the reason why they are in so much in rage. Absolutely, you are right, my friend.
Yeah, so we're going to ask for protection, and I'm going to say thank you to Anthony for being here today, and we'll return again to have another conversation and some more of these discussions on disclosures. Any last words, Anthony?
Just thank you very much for having me on the show. It really is an honor to be able to get out the truth and about what's going on. So thank you very much.
You're welcome, and thank you, Peter, and hopefully you feel better, as I said earlier.
Yeah,
And
thank you for regular opportunity to be on your channel. My wrists are much better, but it was goddamn crazy attack. It was like they will put those crazy needles they made lobotomy, and it was like to the wrist. It was goddamn crazy.
wow.
Jeez, it was so painful.
Well,
But it's
hopefully-
much better. It's much better, and I'm looking forward to our next show with Anthony.
Yeah, maybe go and get that healing stuff that you have, and we'll meet back again in another day. So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Anthony, and thank you to all of our listeners and the many people. Let's all join together, holding the highest intention for humanity once again. So it's peaceful. People have their freedom to speak, but not with violence against one another. Remember, don't be handled or manipulated by anything. Use your free will and make the right decision. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you for listening to Disclosures once again.
You have been listening to Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Morocco. Join us on the YouTube channel. Jessica Ariel Morocco and visit www.peter-insider.com and www.readingsbyariel.com. Remember to post your questions in the comment section below the video. We look forward to hearing from you.